What's up, guys? In this video, we're going to talk about Genius brand stock, ticker symbol GNUS. So there's been a lot of news updates and just a lot of general kind of press releases coming out for Genius brand. So I want to address all of these new kind of news releases and things like that, and important things are going to be happening in the new future of Genius brand stock. So before I get into the video, guys, please smash the like button. It really helps. So the first thing I want to talk about is kind of the current price action for Genius brand stock. And this is the first time that we've seen the stock kind of settle at some nice support. So one of the things I like to do when I'm looking at stock charts is I like to turn basically when a stock breaks out through resistance, I like to turn it into support. So as we can see here, back in May when the stock was absolutely going on a tear, and obviously this was a short-term thing because the stock was basically running up on the news releases for the cartoon channel and things like that, but the company really hadn't generated a lot of revenue. So obviously the stock was a bit overvalued, but you had to like kind of the long-term view for Genius Brands, the fact that streaming is going to crush it this decade. You've got other companies like Disney and HBO. They were rushing to launch their streaming platforms. And many other companies are going to be making money on streaming. As you guys know, you're watching this on YouTube. There are YouTubers on here making a ton of money. And the richest YouTuber is actually around 10 years old. So there's a lot of reasons to get excited about streaming content, but especially content made for kids. Kids these days, when I was growing up, there weren't smartphones, and I know I'm not that old, but it's definitely interesting to see kids, as young as like 3, 4, or 5 years old, even watching content on smartphones. So these kids that are growing up now, they're very familiar with streaming content, and they'll probably be watching it the majority of their lives. So they're just like everybody else. We're seeing a huge shift from kind of cable and content that was outdated, whereas you're watching things on VHS tapes and all this sort like that to in-demand streaming content. So this is the reason why I like Genius Brands long term. This isn't like I'm just picking this stock because it went up a lot in the past. I have a lot of streaming stocks. I own many other streaming stocks. I own Roku stock. I own Netflix stock, Disney stock. I basically own AT&T stock. I own AT&T stock with the recent launch of HBO Max. Basically, any stock that is going to be streaming content, I like to own it. So the fact that this stock is sitting at support right here, this is good. This is basically the consolidation part of the chart. So if we were to look at the chart in 4 different stages, that means that there is some big money coming into the stock right now. People are thinking that it's definitely a good time to buy at this current level. And it's one of the lowest levels we've seen in some time, and I've been buying the stock. I've been buying more shares recently, just because I think it's at a nice price right now. So let's talk a little bit more about that news, and then I want to go into where I think the stock is going to be headed into the future. So I want to do a bit of catch up. So the first thing I want to talk about is the recent toy launch for the Rainbow Rangers product line. Okay, so now I'm on Genius Brands website. You can check all this out on the website. Just hit over, go to the news tab, and as you see here under press releases, so they issued a press release just after I posted my latest video on Genius Brands. It talks about the Rainbow Rangers toys from Mattel Fisher Price debuts at Walmart, Walmart.com, and Amazon. So it's basically they have these toys here from the Rainbow Rangers. It's one of their more successful cartoons, and they started selling these toys on Walmart and Amazon.com. And I was actually trying to find them, and they were basically all sold out. So I think I saw on Amazon the next shipment is like in September. So they're pretty popular, and started reading some reviews from some verified sellers and things like that. And the people, they like the toys, so we're definitely going to see some revenue coming in here. The toys are selling at around $24.99, and it's good news. It's good news that the company's actually taking action. What we want to see from Genius Brands in general is we just want them to do things and implement things. To take a look back in 2007 when Netflix launched their streaming platform, people are very familiar with basically getting Netflix DVDs and things like that by mail. But what they really did is what Netflix has done in the last 13 years. It's just been absolutely amazing. And the important thing is that they took action. So as long as we're seeing the company make sales, sell toys, and add new content to the platform, it's going to translate in revenue coming in, which is going to shoot the stock price up in the long run. So as you can see here, they're also offering commemorative limited edition toys to the first 1,000 buyers and things like that. Just very, very interesting and very good sign that these toys are selling. And what we're really looking for is a big catalyst in Christmas holiday season, because that's when the majority of the money is being spent in the United States, and that's when kids are expecting Christmas gifts and things like that. So you guys can check this out a little bit more in depth. I just wanted to let you guys know that there is some revenue being generated, and this is a great sign. So then the next thing I want to talk about is also another press release that was actually released today. And I think this is a huge, huge, huge bullet sign for the stock, because it's kind of confirming what I wanted to see. So to just give you guys a quick rundown, it says mega hit Yu-Gi-Oh! Joins cartoon channel. Genius Brands International continues to build its premium content pipeline with Konami's hit anime series. So what is anime? Well, anime is basically Japanese cartoons, and stuff is really, really popular. People are really addicted to it, and there's like a cult following around this. Yu-Gi-Oh! Was actually a cartoon that launched back in the late 90s. I actually, right around when I was growing up and things like that. And a lot of people, I didn't really get into it, but, I'm not really into anime cartoons, but, a lot of people were obsessed over it. And they even had these trading cards that were selling for tons of money on eBay and things like that. So they picked up 230 episodes. They're going to be rolling this out on the Cartoon Channel app. So why is this so important? Well, one of the reasons why Netflix is king, in my opinion, is because they have content in for many different languages and many different genres. So to give you guys an example of what I'm talking about, Disney is a really, really great company, and they have amazing movies, but their movies aren't really like diversified in terms of different languages and different genres and things like that. So they have a good content library, but it's not diverse. Now, fast forward to Netflix. Netflix has movies in Chinese, Japanese, other Asian languages, Spanish, French. They have actors from all different countries, all different continents. So they have just basically, they can pull in people from all over the world, Asia, Latin America, Africa, of course, the United States, and things like that. So somebody from, no matter who you are in the world, you can find some content that you enjoy on Netflix. So the fact that they're bringing in Yu-Gi-Oh, that's going to bring in obviously Japanese kids and people that like anime in Asia. Okay, so if you want to bring in obviously different types of people, you're gonna have to have the content that's going to cater to them specifically. So for American kids, they have, kid series like Llama Llama, Rainbow Rangers, and things like that. But Japanese kids, now they're going to show Yu-Gi-Oh! So that's just going to make it so much easier for the company to make money and to show advertisements and just build a following, because they're releasing different types of cartoon that's catering to different nationalities and different cultures. Really, really important, and kind of shows the excellence that's behind the Genius Brands company. There's a lot of the really smart got people working for this company. They have a lot of track records working for many big corporations, everything from Fox and Walt Disney and things like that. So their track record is showing they really understand how to show content towards kids. So as you can see here, it says, led by Yu-Gi-Oh! These new program acquisitions truly showcase the quality and diverse content we are striving to bring to young audiences, discovering the Cartoon Channel, and offer opportunities for a wide range of ad partners to drive revenue for the channel. So yeah, that's exactly what we want to see. We want to see a diverse content library, and that will bring in revenue. So to give you guys kind of some things to think about. Netflix, they have probably over 5,000 to 6,000 titles. Many popular YouTube channels that make a lot of money, they usually have thousands of videos. So the more content they add to the channel and the more diverse it is, the more revenue, Genius Rants is going to bring in. And they also brought in some, obviously, some other cartoons that aren't as famous. They brought in My Dog Cholo, Invention Story, and Mysteries of Alfred Hedgehog. So, this is just the way that the company is just building up their content library. And, a lot of people are saying, oh, the company's not making a lot of money and things like that. Well, it really takes time to build a content library. So obviously we're going to have to wait and just, see how this pans out. But this is a really, really nice sign. And I'm glad that they're diversifying into different cultures and different niches. Anime is huge, so that's going to bring a lot of new kids on the platform. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about the upcoming vote in late August about increasing the number of shares outstanding. Okay, so last but not least, there was also another press release talking about the proxy statement in connection with upcoming special meetings. What is the special meeting? Well, there's going to be a webcast at 10 o'clock Pacific time. That's 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the 27th of Thursday, and you're actually going to be able to vote on a proxy vote uh, where the CEO is trying to increase the number of shares outstanding to 400 million and to adopt a 2020 incentive plan. So apparently he wants to, the CEO, Andy Hayward, he wants to increase the number of shares outstanding so they can raise capital to acquire, I would assume, more cartoon titles. So obviously we want the library to be expanded, but then the downside is that the dilution could cause the share price to fall. So there's kind of a balancing act here, but according to him, he says normally people associate the issuance of shares with dilution. However, when the dilution is accredited, the benefit to the company is exceeded by the acquisition of the asset and is greater than the dilutive effect. That is the primary purpose for having these new shares available. So I think obviously he talks about how Disney did the same thing through new stock. Pixar, they picked up Pixar, Star Wars, and Marvel Entertainment, and obviously these are very, very valuable brands. And Disney did a great job of kind of transforming themselves from just a Mickey Mouse cartoon and an entertainment park into this huge global diversified entertainment conglomerate. So I like the idea that he wants to you know pick up some new titles. And then also they want to talk about the incentive plan. And the whole point of the incentive plan is to basically to retain their top talent and to offer them shares so they will basically stay motivated. It says having them motivated with common stock like us all is the best tool for talent acquisition and retention. So this really important date coming up on the 27th. And also we'll probably see earnings coming up be released in then probably throughout the week. I would say they'll probably get released before the 14th or 15th. So just a lot of things coming up, guys, and a lot of new interesting news releases and press releases around Genius Brands. So let's go back to the stock price and where I think it's going to go in the future. Okay, so now that we'll take a look back at the stock chart, I talked about how I think that there's accumulation going on, which means people are picking up the shares, and it also means that some big money is coming in 2 weeks, and that's a good sign because people are wondering, was the stock going to crash all the way back down to where it was? Also, take a look at Robin Track, we can still see that ownership is pretty strong. So even though quite a few people have dumped the stock, there's still, as of recording this video, there's still like 180,000 people still hold Genius Brand stock. So a lot of people are kind of waiting what's going to happen with this company. I hold quite a few shares as well, and I've been buying shares basically over the last week or so as the price has just been leveling off. But obviously on the 27th, when this meeting passes, if they increase the number of shares outstanding, this cause the price to drop even more. But they're using the money to pick up assets, which could increase the value of the company long term. So I would say right now, obviously shareholders are trying to make money. They want the stock to go up, but the fact that they added Yu-Gi-Oh, these guys are good. They really know what they're doing, and they're pretty good when it comes to library. I would say I'm pretty impressed so far, and I can't wait to see more of the company. So I would say in the short run, the stock price could dip maybe much lower, perhaps maybe towards $1 and even $1, depending on how much the dilutive effect really takes place. But if investors are thinking long term and they realize that the assets and the cartoons that there will be might not see that big of a drop due to dilutive effect because of the kind of raising to be able to buy new stuff. So it'd be really interesting to see that, guys, how this stock rest of August and see what happens here. So that's about wrap things up, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. So if you like my content, please smash the red subscribe button. I'm going to be posting more videos. Genius Brands, full disclosure, I do own shares for the stock. So until next time, guys, take care.